Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is June 25th, 2023. And here's your Moldavite update for today. All right, so Moldavite, Pallasite, red thread, fate, they're all connected, okay? So, and cats. These four factors, these four elements are all connected, and I'm gonna try my best to connect all of them for you. Okay, now let's talk about this red thread of fate. The red thread of fate is a red thread that a moon god connected to souls since the beginning of time. So the red thread is to help pull us back to find the other person on the side of the thread, right? A soulmate, basically. And so prior to this, I never really I believe in soulmates, but I really didn't know how deep I was going to go into this. When we actually experience the soulmate energy, you're like, what is happening, right? Again, Moldavite exposes us to all these synchronicities and all these shifts in our reality. It really makes us question what is real anymore, all right? It takes time to process on what the heck is happening. Now, okay, so that's Moldavite. Moldavite expands us, have us transform from the inside out, right? All our deeper shadows are coming up to the surface for us to release. That's Moldavite. Now, the red thread of fate didn't come into my field until last year after I got my very first Pallasite. Now, it was about an 89-gram piece. It was a pretty good chunk. And after getting that piece, I didn't feel called to work with too much. But however, I started getting downloads, ideas and hunches about this red thread. And so the more I researched or looked into it, I thought, well, this is pretty interesting, right? The red thread helps with the soulmate. But what's also interesting is, you know how we hear that this love is written in the stars? Well, Pallasite is from the stars. It's from space. Moldavite is the bridge between earth and heaven. Pallasite is straight up space, a space element. It's 4.5 billion years, right? So when we're talking about a thread connecting souls since the beginning of time, what better energy to bring it through than Pallasite, right? It's much older than Earth. 4.5 billion years is much older than Earth herself. So this piece of space rock that's roaming around the universe, who knows how old the universe is? With the Pallasite, that was when I started getting dreams about this soulmate, like ideas to make this red thread. And so this is what came through from it. So on each side, there's 22 knots, right? Number 2 represents balance, partnership. In the middle is a circle to represent whole and complete. Now, that doesn't mean that one partner helps you, like when two come together, it makes you whole and complete. That is not the case. If that is what you think a soulmate is, then there is still learning for you to do. And right. So energetically, that's what happened. We're going to gravitate towards others who exude an energy that helps us feel whole. Now, that will only last for so long. And after a while, if you keep seeking this energy from the other person, they're going to feel it. They're going to feel like you're trying to get something from them, even though they may not. They don't really understand the underneath of it is all energy. Be conscious of which chakra. That's why it's really important to be conscious of which energy centers that you're blocked on. This red thread is to help you get into full alignment with yourself. It's to remind you to get into alignment with yourself. So when I make these red threads, it takes about 30 to 45 minutes to sit here and actually hand make these. But when I'm focused on it, all these energy that I managed, all these pathway that I managed to build up connected to the Pallasite, right? I feel like I had to work through the Moldavite, my own transformation, to even tap into the energy of Pallasite. And so Pallasite is probably the very first meteorite that I feel very connected to source. I don't feel that as much with Moldavite because Moldavite is really intense, right? But as far as when it comes to Pallasite, it's a lot calmer energy. I feel a lot of shifts. Again, I feel like these two pair together. Moldavite is the transformation, is the bridge between heaven and earth. Pallasite is out there in space, is in the stars. So, when I'm making these, I am putting all my focus, time, attention, and energy into making this, pulling this energy, where else? From the stars, right? I feel like, after we work with a certain energy for so long, we start building this pathway, this resonance with the energy. And so, yeah, Red Thread of Fate. I'm going to release them out on my website again. I took it down, I think back in December. I just got the call to take these down and not make any more. But suddenly the last couple of weeks they came out again. Now, so when you wear this Red Thread of Fate, I always tell people when you wear it, notice your dreams, what's coming through, and wear it until it unwinds by itself or when it falls off. That will give you an idea that, hey, you're in alignment, right? That's one possibility of it. But again, don't wear it believing that my soulmate's gonna show up right there and then. I believe you need to get in alignment with yourself first, be whole and complete with yourself, continue doing what you're doing, and then when it's in alignment, you two will cross path. Make sense? Right? So last year when I wore my Red Thread of Fate, I started getting these dreams of the soulmate, like this essence, this energy in the dream state. And this person knocked on the door, and this is one of the dreams, and then it's like, it's you, right? So this person found me in the astral plane. And these dreams happened for a couple of days, and then the energy went away. It dissipated. And then, so I had my red thread for about 2 months before it fell off, okay? And so the guidance I got there was, I'm in alignment, okay? And so I never wore another red thread. I didn't feel the call, the need to. And so at that point, I was on path to getting back into alignment with source and like really tapping into this energy of Pallasite. And so I took the threads down back in December, and then that was kind of end of it there. Now, about 3 weeks ago, I got this thought to come through to look into the red thread again, or take them out, because I still had some extras from when I made it last year. And then I thought, well, is another soulmate coming through, or what's happening? So I put one on my my wrist. If you get it, put it on your less dominant hand, right? It's going to, this is where the energy is going to come through. So I put it on my wrist, and literally within, I would say an hour, I looked down and I was like, where's my red thread? It like fell off somewhere around the house. And I thought that was interesting. So that tells me that I am in alignment. I don't need the red thread. However, start thinking about this red thread again, right? So I kind of put it in the back burner after it fell off, and I put it next to my counter. So I think, well, if I need to bring it back, I'll tune in and see where this wants to go. Well, about a week and a half, last week, someone messaged me, and so this is in alignment with a dream, okay? So just follow me here. One of my friends who has a Pallasite for me, she went to Spain to visit a friend. And so she had the Pallasite with her. And she got mugged, or she got pickpocketed during the trip. And in her wallet was her Mexican temporary visa. And so she was kind of stuck there until they get this sorted out, or she can't enter Mexico. She had to go through like this longer route through the US. And then there's this whole thing with the embassy, or she had to figure out her paperwork. And so she was kind of stuck there in Spain when she was supposed to head back. And so I tuned in and kind of give her some ideas or what downloads I got through for what, where maybe something's like she's not meant to come back yet. And so we were talking for one of these conversation, and she mentioned there's this temple in Madrid, I believe. It's in Spain somewhere. This temple that was an Egyptian temple that was gifted to Spain. And so I saw I looked up the photo of the temple, and then I think she messaged me around 2 a.m. and then I fell back asleep. And in that dream, she was holding a kitten. The kitten was named Pallasite, and me and her were walking out of this temple, right? The temple looks like there's 2 doorways. And I was walking out with her through this temple, and it's a very solar plexus energy. And then we walked into a gym. My friend stood outside, but I walked into the gym, and there was this a fitness instructor that came up looking for me. And we talked a little bit, and then I told her I got to get back with my friend. But that was kind of it about the dream in general. Well, the next morning, I got this hunch to go check my messages on Instagram. Like it was in one of those hidden folders for new messages. But I got a message from someone that says, hey, she had a dream about a kitten with, and also in the dream there was a red string, a red thread of some sort. But that's when she started looking into, she also had a Moldavite and a Pallasite that actually entered her field recently. And so that's when she found one of my videos about the red thread, and I was talking about Pallasite and how they're all connected in one way or the other. But it was so, one of those coincidences that you can't help but to follow it because it's just too unreal. Like it's too much in sync that you have no choice but I need to follow this. This is a sign, right? And so she messaged me. So we did a session, but she also asked if she needed about the red thread. And so I tuned in and asked her to check with her intuition, and lo and behold, she's being called for a red thread. So that was one of the reasons why I'm bringing back this red thread, right? It came out twice within the same time frame. And so I was thinking, why does this red thread want to come out all of a sudden? And I started looking up into different dates on why, any important dates that were coming up. So we have the Sirius star alignment, the Sirius gateway coming up in July 3rd to the 7th, which is probably in a week and a half from here, right? And then also Lionsgate, that's coming up on 8/8. So these are 2 major portals opening up to Sirius. When these portals open up, there's gonna be massive energies coming through. I also believe this red thread is going to help you get into alignment to prepare for this 2 massive portals that are coming. So that is the message I have for everyone here about this red thread. See if it resonates. Oh, I didn't also tell you, the person that messaged me about the red thread, she's very fit and she spent a lot of time in the gym. And so when I went back to the dream the night prior to her coming for the red thread, that energy was her in the dream. It was someone very fit, a fitness instructor coming to me looking for me, right? And so the very next morning she messaged me. So if I'm not getting through to you through this video, then I may show up in dreams. I would say a dream interception is what it may be called. I'm not really sure what's happening, but this is why I feel like it's happening, because in these dreams I am coming across people who I'm showing an exit. So with that being said, people are showing up in my dreams. The common denominator is I'm showing them an exit or a door, or they're coming to me for something, but they're not sure yet. Okay? So if you have a Moldavite, if you don't have a Moldavite, if you have a Pallasite or whatever it is, you don't need it. But when you feel called for it, it'll come to you. But for right now, check in with your intuition if a red thread is calling for you to prepare for this serious opening, these next 2 massive portal that's opening. So I will release these on my website, thelightgoddesses.com. If you're feeling called to it, go check it out. Other than that, let's get ready for this series gateways. The more you clear, the more you do the inner work, the more downloads, upgrades you're gonna get. Okay, so that's all I have with the red thread. A little bit long video today, but if you're here, you got the message. If you feel like your dreams is either me that's showing up or my cats are showing up, or if you start seeing red threads in your reality, check in to see if one of your red thread is here. And that, I'll see you in the next episode. Till I do.